the history of Ghanaians in Germany and looking at Hamburg as the main hotspot of Germany, and analyzing Hamburg, analyzing the life of Ghanaians, but also looking at the life of other Africans, because we can really replace the word Ghanaians with any other nationality from Africa. And it's something that we want to take you through. I mean, it's a book written, but where does it come from? Where are the mindsets? Which mindsets are behind this book? Which people have worked on this project? And over the years, how has it developed? What is in this book? And who has done it? It's something that we would like to take you through. And I'm very happy. I'm Samuel Bawala, and I'm going to take you through this. We would like to meet Desmond John Beddy, and I'm just right at his office, Top Afrique. You see it, it's the association here in Hamburg that is really doing a lot to help African people, to boost their morale, to motivate and inspire young people from Africa. So I'm very glad that we're going to get to him. We're going to ask him questions. I got to know it's not only him who wrote this book, it's a team of people, so many people that came together with this ideology, to really inform people about what went on in the past, how we can analyze the present and focus on the future to make it better for the people. I mean, for the young people right now that have an African history, that came from Africa, or that have parents that came from Africa. So I'm very glad. I've known Desmond for a very long time, and he is an inspirational man. He's a man who never gives up, a man who focuses on his dream. So he has shared this dream with us, the young people, and I know we shall carry it on. But now, let me take you in. So, Mr. Desmond, growing up means...
Yes, say Desmond.
Yeah?
Yes, say Desmond. I think Desmond, as you said, and I think over the years I've become a servant to the African community in Germany, particularly in Hamburg. I'm a sort of a community consultant to the African community.
What is the inspiration behind the history of Ghanaians in Germany?
I think basically the scare to fail, is actually what inspired me to begin this project. It got to a point in time, I started asking myself, what if we are gone and there is no one, or there are no people who are able to do what you started and even do it better? So this thought is what inspired me to begin this book.
That's really indeed a great inspiration, because I think our children really need to know where they come from and what their grassroots are. Yeah. What is the main content in this book? What is the book entirely about, in just a few sentences?
I think the whole book is based on capturing our past. I mean, how we came to Germany.
Yes.
And then looking at the situation as it is today.
Yes.
And making projections into the future. So basically, we look at how we started coming to Germany years back, how it was, the situation as it is today, and what we think could be done better in the future. So basically what we are trying to do is that we want to take a snapshot of the situation today so that the generation after us will have something to build upon.
Interesting. When did the project start entirely?
It used to be a sort of dream. You see, like I told you, it got to a point I was actually giving it up in where we started again. So it looks like at any point in time, we begin something new. We never build upon what we had. So I said, okay, good. Let me capture our success and particularly also our failures. Where we didn't do well, Why do you choose to give up? What wasn't working well? So that the generation after us will take it and say, okay, this is where the generation before us were performing good. This is where they weren't performing good. So what can we do better? So 5 years ago, I gathered a group of people and said, look, let's undertake such a project. So we started, and some along the line, sometimes people become quite skeptical, and sometimes myself too. I feel as one guy who used to work with me several years, he's called Eric. Eric said, Desmond, sometimes you go a little bit, this is someone's PhD job. How do you think you could do it? So I said, yes, we'll try. So basically, yes, we started about some 5 years ago. It used to be a dream, and this dream gradually is becoming real.
Well, I think those 5 years have been intensive, and you've really done a great job. When I look at the book,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I would like to ask, when you talk about history, many times, many years are embedded in this word, history.
Yeah.
So what is the definition of the history that you mean in this case?
Yeah, but you'll be surprised that there is a Ghanaian who was here far back, who even went far becoming a professor at a university. So then after too, we shouldn't forget that before the World War, there were Ghanaians coming here. Yeah, during the World Wars too, there were Ghanaians who were also here. Some fought for their colonial masters. And then after the World War II, some also were here as well. And then, but beginning actually, the critical point of the book began from our parents who came in the 60s. Most of them came as students. And then after too came another generation, what we call the hustler generation, who came to work. They came in the 80s. Most of them came during when there was some sort of economical challenges in Ghana. That was during the early 80s. Ghana had drought. Ghana had the political instability. Yeah, Ghana, so a lot of people went to Nigeria and Ivory Coast, and those who went to Nigeria, most of them came back. They were actually deported, so they came back. Some have tasted this other way of life, so they decided to move on. So a majority of this group came to Germany, and they are the core, their children and their children's children are the generation we are having today. So we actually began from the 60s. But before then, we've been already coming to Germany, and there are a few documented instances.
Okay, which you're a very big team that actually worked on this project. And I'm really very glad to know that you led the team in that case. How many people are we talking about here?
We are looking at close to 30 people working on such a project. We had a lot of people who also wrote a lot of chapters, interesting chapters. There are some of these chapters I personally, so when I read them, I feel, oh, these are great writers, you know. Yeah. Sometimes you look at your style of writing and how others to write. And some of these people, one from Essen, he's called Kofi Appiah, he's an excellent writer. I love his script. There's another lady also called Nelly Sapon. She also wrote something very beautiful. So a lot of people wrote chapters, yeah. And then also there are a lot of people who did editing, upon editing, proofreading, making sure that we meet the expectation. Yeah, and we had a gentleman also called Hayford who did the translation into German, and he was very particular about doing an excellent job. So a lot of people, we had a German professor who wrote also, Professor Werner wrote. We have one professor who is a lecturer at the university in Ghana. He also wrote a chapter. So I had to coordinate a work of about 25 people, and then there were a lot of other people too who contributed, seeing to it that the grammatic is perfect, the facts are correct, and then see to it that we come out with a great book. So many people contributed.
Well, thank you very much. We're really excited to really see the launch, and we hope that you will sell very many copies of this book?
Yeah, basically one have to look at it from not only the sales, yeah, but we are looking at basically the content of the book. What is in this book? Because we are looking at what you see, development is all about failures. The more you fail and the more you attempt to correct your failure, you begin to do things better. So all we did is to catalog where we were doing well, where we could do better, where we failed, and say, look, this is what we have. Begin with. And then you shouldn't forget that this is a pace setter project, because if you take yourself to be a Nigerian from Uganda, from Cameroon, and you are reading this book, our story is the same. Just you take where the word Ghana is and put Cameroon there, put Uganda there, and you notice you are reading the same story. So basically what we are doing is to tell the other Africans too and say, look, we have started it. It's time you also take up the challenge. It's a lot of work. You have to be committed and begin to build upon it so that we have something for the generation to follow. So it's not just about sales, but the impact we want this book to make in our communities.
I find that very inspirational. Thank you very much. I think
I'm honored.
I think you will reach so many people with this story, and it will change so many people's lives. What do you think, or which imagination do you have about the number of readers?
Yeah, when
get to this book?
You see, when we talk of readership, and let us not forget that none of us who wrote this book are bestsellers. Okay, this is a pioneer project. So our goal is, the most interesting thing is that the state of Hamburg insisted they want to have these books as well. So they made sure they put a lot of pressure. They had the English version and they read it before. So as we speak right now, they are saying they want to have copies of the German version for their libraries. So basically it's not about the sales, but how far this book can go. So imagine we have this book in all the libraries and perhaps the universities or wherever. So it's not a matter of how many people read it today, but the impact it will make in the years to come.
All right. Yeah, that's really great. Thank you very much.
I'm honored.
And all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Growing up means seeing a lot. And within the years, I believe you've really seen a lot. So which advice, which word do you have for the young people? Because I know they would really learn from your life.
Success is not measured by what you attain today, but what you are able to give to others. You see, there is what we call sustainability. Whatever you begin today, others should be able to continue and take it to the next level. So basically, whilst whatever you do, you should try to be teaching others, so that when you are not there, you'll be able to bring it to a more successful end. So it is part of my motto is that people around me, whatever I know, I try to share it with them. Because if whatever you do, you'll be gone. But if you don't have others to continue, then you will fail. So it is always my goal that anybody around me, I should share whatever experiences, whatever failures I've experienced in life with them and motivate them to do better than myself.
That's indeed true.
Thank you, sir.
And I really believe this is something that has been lacking in our community. I pray that everyone picks a leaf from your life, Mr. Desmond.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.